For those of you that don't know me, my name is Katie Murphy and I've been practicing acupuncture since 2004. And before that, I would have done a lot of body work, physical therapy, aromatherapy, Reiki, and IET. And I've always loved working with energy. I find that it's my passion. And the one thing I love more than anything else in the world when it comes to work is to allow a person to come to me and sit in my space and rediscover their own healing powers, because that's what this is all about. It's switching on the innate healer within each of us and allowing our bodies to heal themselves. So that's a really powerful thing, and I'm very honoured to be able to do that with people. I use intuitive mentorship as well, so it's switching on the person's intuition. We all have it. Everybody has a really powerful intuition, their own third eye, their own sense of self, their own connection to source, their higher self, their own power. But the problem is our worlds are so busy, our lives are so consumed by so much other stuff that we lose our connection and we lose our voice and we lose our innate wisdom that everybody has. So it's all about reconnecting. And the one thing I find that really works for pretty much everybody that comes to me is to reconnect them to nature, bringing them back into seeing that nature has all the healing abilities that we could ever wish for. And just sitting and being in the present moment in nature is one of the most liberating, energetically freeing things that any of us can do. And yet many of us don't find the time within our busy schedules to actually do that. Listening to birdsong, for example, which is now, birds are coming into life, it's their season, it's springtime here in Ireland, and that time is a beautiful reconnection point for us. We've come out of winter where our bodies are meant to be hibernating, we're meant to be recharging, we're meant to be coming into what we call our yin phase, which in Chinese medicine is going inwards. It's quietening our schedules, it's not working quite so hard, it's going with nature. So when it's dark, we go in and we start to hibernate. But as we're coming into spring and early spring here in Ireland, life and nature start to come back to life. Things start to grow, and nature, first of all, very hesitantly sort of starts to sprout, and then there's a big life force energy surge as we're about to feel very soon in April. And what that can be is, if you switch onto it and you tune into it, you can use that power in your own body and start to really embrace the spring energy. In Chinese medicine, spring is a time when the liver energy, the liver line, meridian, starts to come into play more. And what I find with that is I get a lot of people coming in with unresolved trauma, so anger mostly. In liver, it's anger, frustration, and in the elements, it's wood. So people can be very stuck in that. And so when spring comes along and the liver energy starts to wake up from its quiet time in winter, suddenly you find that you need to get rid of this. So a lot of people come in and they clear quite quickly in spring anything that no longer serves them. So a lot of people can find that their tendons and ligaments start becoming very tight in March and in April. Their headaches suddenly start becoming more apparent. You also have sort of spring pollen of the trees coming in, so people can come in with early signs of hay fever. And these are all quite naturally coming with the season. Period-wise for women, for menstrual cycles, your liver controls many aspects of our bleed cycle. So we can often find we have a few more issues coming in than normal. But the brilliant thing about spring, if you really honour this time, is it's a time for rejuvenation, for new beginnings, for new abundance of energy. And I've already seen that. For example, yesterday in the clinic, I had 3 early pregnancies coming in, and that's what April is all about. It's really new energy and embracing that energy and absorbing it. There's more light. Our clocks spring forward, fall back, I have to remember that. They went forward, so we lost an hour, but in that we gained another hour of light. Light is so important, and we have had a very, very wet, dark, windy winter. It's the wettest I've ever known, and it's left a residual energy of tiredness, low, lethargic. You know, there's a real dark energy with that. And what's happened now, even with a couple of days of sunshine, is people are kind of thinking, wow, this is what light feels like. It feels so much better. The cells in our body start to resonate in a different way when there's light around us. And it's the same with our bodies energetically. The more light you can hold, the better you're going to feel. So enjoy this springtime. But again, don't overdo it. It's a great time to start introducing a really important routine of stretch work, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, anything like that is amazing to get starting now. It's a good time to start. It's also a really good time to start walking and doing some really enjoying walks. If you have the time, get out and start doing 30 minutes a day. But be mindful not to overdo it. Don't start suddenly becoming, start training for Ironman. We're not quite there yet. We're sort of April, May, then the body can really embrace movement, at a much better pace. It's also mindful of this time we're quite vulnerable still to wind and weather changes. We get really excited when we see sunshine. We're like, oh yeah, put my shorts on. Try to be mindful that in Chinese medicine, we have this wonderful thing where we keep the neck warm and don't let the wind come into the body to invade us. You often find me going around with a scarf pretty much all the year round in this country, but remember to just be mindful of keeping with the seasons. Like today is beautiful, in about 3 hours it's going to probably rain again. So embrace the change of season. The more you are connected to the seasonal changes and the more you see how it affects your body, the much easier your passage through this will be. It's the same with us, with the moon and everything else. There's so much out there if we're willing to connect to it. So that's my little words of wisdom for this April. And I'll be doing some acupressure points soon just to help us through this next